Hello, and welcome back to the Mondovi Line in HO scale. I've been thinking about loads, meaning the loads on certain freight cars, because I'm really enjoying operations these days and been doing a lot of research into the industries that were in the towns I model and what they shipped in and what they shipped out. And to make it more realistic, if you're shipping in a certain commodity, you want to see that in the car. And if you're shipping out a certain commodity, you'd like to see that in the car too. So I've been watching some videos by other people and looking through some magazines and books and just tried a few things. So let's take a look at some of the freight cars that I made loads for. First up, I have 3 different coal loads, 1 in an open hopper and 2 in 40-foot gondolas. And there are 3 different types of loads. So the C&NW open hopper it's a resin type rectangle with coal glued to it. And I think I got this at a train show, and it's supposed to be removable, but it's kind of pushed in there. I'd have to have a little tool to remove it. And it looks pretty realistic. The coal is nice and shiny, and it does the job. Somewhere along the line, I picked up these pieces of black foam, and you carve them to look like loads, and they're removable. It's just, like I say, soft foam, and you can just usually cut it right, pick it right out, but it's crammed in there. And it's not very realistic. It was okay in some of my older layouts, but I'm not happy with it, so I thought I'd try something new. In this EJ&E gondola, this is a piece of pink foam that's cut to fit. And then with some Woodland Scenics, I guess it's coal, but they probably call it ballast or something. But it's glued to it. And you focus it a little better. It's glued to it, and it's easy to put in, deliver, and then when the operation removes the car, you take it out. So I'm going to make some more of these for the other coal load cars that I have. In Mondovi, I have a sawmill, and it's the Fund Brothers, which was PFUND. And they had a large sawmill at the entrance to the rail yard, and farmers would deliver logs to them, or they would come in on gondolas, and they would be milled into untreated railroad ties. So this gondola from Kalmbach Publishing, MRT. This is an AccuRail kit I put together. These are twigs from my backyard in the area that I cut up. And they're just glued to a piece of pink foam, just like I did with the coal. And I just glued 1 layer, and you can glue 2 layers or more. You can make pulpwood loads the same way. And when I come in to Mondovi with them, they get unloaded with a crane with a log hook. And then when they leave, they either leave empty or they leave with a load. And this is a untreated tie load. It's supposed to be removable. It's crammed in there. Anyhow, it's on a piece of balsa wood with 1 row of either Tishi Group or someone that makes these ties. And this is what they would ship out. Okay, I went and got my dentist pick. So this is the tie load. It's just a piece of balsa wood from the craft store, and cut to fit, and then 1 layer of ties. And you can't, I think legally or by rules, they couldn't go more than 1 row of ties high above the edge of the gondola. So that's a Again, a load that's easily removed, and then the gondola is shipped back to the yards empty. Each town along the Mondovi Line had farm implement companies, so they got tractors, these John Deere dozer tractors, these Fords that are on the left side, and other implements came in on flat cars. So these are a couple of newer Walthers mainline 53-foot flat cars. The Wabash on the left with the red Ford tractors on it, I removed the plastic decking and replaced it with an American Model Builders wood deck that I weathered. Unfortunately, A&B has gone out of business now, and I haven't been able to find another set of these for the Pennsylvania car. But let's take a look. So I'll make some riggings for these. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make these permanent on the flat car, but there's lots of examples of the blocking and the chaining down for detail. So I will probably do something like that. And if you look at the Pennsylvania car, these dozers are made by Erdl. It's the same car, and I'll hold it up for you. You can see the difference in the decking. The Wabash car has a wood deck that's been stained with Viterro stains in several colors, and this is just the factory plastic one on the Pennsylvania car that I haven't changed out yet or did any weathering to. Those are pretty much brand new. I may make those loads permanent for operations. A nice small industry trackside is a pole yard, utility poles. In the modern day, you have the bulkhead flats carrying 86-foot utility poles. I'm using 40-foot bulkhead flat car for this one. This is just an old Southern Pacific Athearn blue box that I had laying around that was my father's on his layouts since the day I was born. So I haven't upgraded this one yet. It's got some KD5s on it, but I have to change out the wheel sets. And you can see my father on the bottom of all his freight cars, he would put the date he last did any service to a car. So in February 93, he probably put the couplers on or did something to it, checked the weight, don't know. But all his cars have a little piece of yellow tape on the bottom of them, and they're almost all Athearn blue box. So although they're not the detail, there's a certain nostalgic twang I get and honoring my father by running his cars on my layout. So this is a pole load made from 3/16 dowel rods. I cut them to length. I roughed them up with a razor saw. I stained them with Viterro Best stains. I'll get a better lighting on that. The banding is black masking tape that I sliced as thin as I could. And again, this is a removable load. And I made it semi-hollow on the bottom so it fits over the center framing of the car. Operations, it comes in, it gets set out on the side, track side for a transload to trucks and taken to wherever they're putting in new power lines, telephone poles, etc. So these are like 39-foot length cut to fit in a 40-foot car. And pipe loads. I have a 40-foot Chicago Northwestern gondola. This gondola is, I'll probably make some pulpwood loads for it. But right now I have a pipe load in that, and then another old Athearn blue box Michigan Central 50-foot gondola. They used to sell these with plastic cement canisters in them, and I have another one somewhere that has those in there, and they're just really poorly detailed and badly made back in the 60s and 70s when they made these. So if I want to go with cement canisters, there's a lot of companies doing 3D printing with some great detail. So let's take a look at these. Again, these are removable loads. So you got the 40-foot, originally Omaha CMO 40-foot gondola, and these are soda straws from the dollar store, and they are glued together over styrene, and then I used thread for the banding. So you can see there's thread lines here, and then I made the wooden cross members just from dimensional lumber I had laying about, and they're painted with a primer, and then a black matte primer over that. And it does the job pretty well and fits right in any standard 40-foot gondola. And like I say, those were soda straws. For the 50-footer, I got coffee stir sticks. You can see, let me lower that so you can see that. These are glued to a small piece of balsa wood. Next time I make them, I'll be a little more careful with the glue. There's a little mess on them. These are not painted though. These came black. And I used yellow masking tape for banding. And then I made the wooden frames again from dimensional. And then I added a couple of pieces of basswood just to give it a little width so when it sits in the gondola, it doesn't rattle around. And in Michigan Central gondola, there's that yellow tape again. It's January of '93. So my guess is my dad put Katie couplers on it at that point. Again, these have the original plastic wheels, so we'll be replacing those with metal wheel sets like I do with all my cars. And again, that's any 50-foot gondola that fits. And from my reading, I found out that every train on the Mondovi Line in my era, the late 50s, always carried a LCL box car in the end and a caboose. So I use the green and yellow Omaha box cars for my LCL cars for operations. And I will sometimes open the doors and put freight in there, like in this one. There's some downtown deco painted freight. Not sure we can see that or not. Get that out of there. So there's some crates and stuff. So in operations, when I pull up to the house track, I'll take these out and set them on the dock. So it gives me a little bit more time in the operations and another step to do. And that's it for my loads. Thanks for stopping by. That's all I have for the loads for now. And we're going to just bring the train back to the staging yard. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment, share, or just enjoy your day. We'll talk later. Bye.